one of the things that you are really well known for is helping teachers with productivity and just being organized and being able to live the life that they really want to by getting on top of what they've got to do, I guess. And so I wondered if you could share a few tips around productivity that you might have shared at workshops and things like that before that we could discuss.
Sure. First of all, the last time, not the last time, when I was speaking at that national conference,
What
somebody
was the
actually
conference,
asked,
by the way?
it was the National Association for Music Education.
Oh, yes. Okay. NAFME or whatever it's called.
NAFME.
Yeah.
Yep. It was the NAFME conference. And, I was doing my whole speaking thing. It was about battling burnout, actually. And somebody raised their hand and said, how do you get everything done? And I usually keep my to-do list, and in a planner, I just use a journal. I write it out myself. And I held it up and I said, this is my to-do list. And it's page after page after page after page, right? And I said, does it look like I get everything done? Is everything on this list crossed off? And I held it up to the person sitting next to me and she goes, no. And I said, I don't get it all done. I don't, but I get the important stuff done. So I would say one thing, probably the most important thing, is get the important stuff done. And everything that's not important wasn't important. So why are you worrying about it anyway? Right? So know your priorities and get the important stuff done. So like I told you, I start every day with that routine: yoga, meditation, breathing, writing. I might do some reading, visualization. It's this whole miracle morning thing. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay. And this is all before the
right?
kids wake up. Is that right?
Yeah, all before anybody in the
What
house
time
is
do you
up.
get up?
Between 4:30 and 5.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So, and I have tea. Okay. Anyway, so that stuff is really important for me because it sets me up to be able to handle anything that's thrown at me the rest of the day. That pissed off parent, or that angry coworker, or that person on Facebook who literally today was so angry at me and I didn't know why, because
Really?
people are insane. That's why.
Yep.
So I'm
They're all
able to deal.
anonymous on Facebook groups, aren't they?
Right.
Basically.
I'm going to send you a message. They didn't.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it sets me up to be able to handle all of that because that's important. That's why it's worth waking up first thing in the morning and getting it done. So first of all, know your priorities and understand that you're not going to get everything done. Focus on the important stuff and get those done first.
And that's okay, which can be really hard, particularly for perfectionists and really driven people to see unchecked off things on lists.
It can be. I admit that I am highly perfectionist, but I'm trying to focus on not being what everybody else might see as perfect, but being perfectly me. And
Nice.
if the perfect version of me doesn't get everything done because I've refocused my priorities, then how is that imperfect? Right?
I have no response.
So that's the first one. Know your priorities, get them done, and really relax if it does not get done. So, and that goes with another one of these, which is be patient, because you will get the important stuff done. So a trap that I get caught in is that I look at my to-do list and I go, it all has to be done right now, today, this list. And it never happens. And so then I just remind myself, there's time enough. There is time enough. Like that becomes my mantra. There is time enough for me to get all of this done. And did we mention that I'm working on my doctorate right now on top of, working full time, doing my podcast, writing for school band and orchestra and choral director magazines, having 3 kids, riding my bike every day?
No, you did not. You're doing a PhD.
I'm working on an EDD, a doctorate of education.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. What are you looking at for that?
Instructional design.
Interesting. Okay. Particularly for online production courses and things. Yeah. Oh, very interesting.
So, and I have, will be using this degree for my own nefarious purposes.
Stay tuned.
But it does require me to tell myself, There is time enough. There is time enough. So be patient with yourself. And all of us perfectionists work on being perfectly just who we are.
And good enough. It's good enough.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
You get to set your own standard of perfection. Oh, and here's a big insight that I had this week. Okay. You know that little voice that's saying, I should do that. I should get that done. I should send those emails tonight. I literally do have to send like 15 emails tonight, but whose voice is that? Who says that you should do those things?
Well, it's you.
It's just you. So you get to decide if you really should do those things, and changing the language to I get to do those things, or I am doing that now, just completely shifts your attitude about it. Should is such a bad
I really
word.
should get to that thing.
But instead it's I get to send those 15 emails out tonight so I don't have to do it tomorrow.
Nice.
Right?
Word
Anyway.
usage can be so important. I remember interviewing Nick Ambrosino. I don't know if you know Nick, author of a couple of books. And one thing that has always stuck with me is his approach to the difference between but, the word but, and when you're dealing with kids. You played that so well, but what you really need to do is X. And kids don't listen to anything that came before the but. So change it to an and. You played that so well, and now it's time to do this. And that's always stuck with me. The power of a language shift is super important. So I really like that you brought that up.
Yeah, and I love that you brought that one up because it's one of my favorites. Is anything that you say before but, you've just nullified.
Yeah. Nick actually put it, he had a funny little saying, anything that came before the but is, I don't know. He made some allusion to bottoms, and it was quite funny. I can't remember what it was.
Stop, I'm all embarrassed now.
Back to the product, the tips. I think we've
I don't know
how many have we done? 3, 2?
I don't know. We're throwing them out there.
Keep going.
Lightning
what
round.
Else have you got?
Okay, so plan your day the night before. This is such a huge one, especially if you find yourself waking up in the night having anxiety about the next day. If you feel like you aren't being productive enough, if you feel like you're forgetting things. I mean, these are feelings like we can relate to, right? So plan your day the night before. So I actually use 2 methods of my to-do list. Okay. I have my big long running list, which I usually keep on a legal pad, and I keep it on my desk. So as I'm in meetings or calls or whatever, I can just add to it. And then at night I sit down with that and my little journal, and I love books. I'm like obsessed with, I'm a total bibliophile. I collect antique books. I'm such a nerd.
Not so into the Kindle though, more the physical book.
Oh, no, no digital books.
Okay. Heresy.
I wish I could turn my camera and show you my bookshelf, but I have a pretty good collection. Anyway, so I get like these really nice journals that I love to hold, and then I sit there and I plan my day out. And so now what does that do? Now it relieves any anxiety I might have in the night because I've already gone through and made a plan for what I have to do the next day. What I get to do the next day, right? And I know exactly what time I'm waking up and what my morning routine is going to be and which appointments that I have. So I'm not worried about what I'm going to forget. And I'm not waking up in the night all anxious because I already have a plan for it. So now I sleep well and I'm way more productive the next day. So that's the method that I use. But people swear by this. Plan your day the night before. And you're going to be more successful all around.
Yeah, I've heard that one a number of times. I've never tried hard enough to implement it. But I would, I should. You're probably the third person. The third time you hear something is the one you should try and when you should do it, right?
That's so true. I am a total believer in that. Three times I heard about this 7-day bike trip. And the third time I emailed them and said, I'll do business consulting for you if you give me a bike trip. And they did. Yeah,
there you go.
But no, you're absolutely right. I challenge you, Tim, to try it for 7 days.
Okay. I'm up for that. That's doable.
7 straight days, and then email me and let me know if it worked for you.
Okay. All right. Deal.
All right. Shake on it.
Virtual shake.
Virtual shake.
All right.
Okay. I've got like I've got like two more. Okay.
Okay.
Create a keystone habit. And a keystone habit is the one thing that you definitely dedicate yourself to do every day. And it has to be something that's really healthy because it will help all of those other healthful habits happen. So, for example, if you set the keystone habit of doing yoga every morning, right? Or going to the gym every morning or whatever, it has to be something fun that you love or you won't get up at 5 a.m. to do it. So, you just focus on like this one super healthy thing. Okay. And once that's a habit, all the other things start to fall in line. So if you're exercising at the gym in the morning, you're a lot less likely to eat junk food during the day because you're like, oh, I just have to work it off. Right. And if you work out every morning, that means that you're not going to oversleep. And because you're working out in the morning, you also aren't going to drink late into the night because you're like, oh, I got to hit the gym first thing in the morning. So a keystone habit is something that you love to do enough that you will implement the habit with joy, but that it also helps drive other healthy habits. So for me, this is going to come as a total shock. I am a total workaholic sometimes. Okay, maybe all the time. And I know it's because I love my work, but I was having a really hard time shutting it off during the day. My kids would come home and mom would be staring at her computer and I wasn't making dinner for my family. I wasn't, doing the other important things because I was just work. And so I decided that I was going to make a keystone habit for myself to go either mountain biking or trail running or road biking or something. And normally I would implement that first thing in the morning, right? But this time I decided it's going to be at 4:00 in the afternoon. That is when I shut down all of my work and my work brain. It's not just enough to close your laptop or turn off your computer. You have to check out. And I'm going to go biking that time every day. I'm going to fix myself a little fancy drink of sparkling water, and then I'm going to go for a bike ride. And once I started doing that, it has made this monstrous difference in my productivity because guess what? Now I'm more relaxed all evening long and I can be better prepared for the next day. We think that rest is something that is for the weak, but it's really for the strong because it gives our bodies a chance to incorporate all of this stuff. And that includes our brains. I mean, we're learning all day long, but our brain can't incorporate that and build those new pathways until we rest. So create a keystone habit, something that you love. And even though you feel like, well, this is time away from my studio, or I could have filled that 4:00 spot with 2 students, right? But it's more important for you to build that healthy habit. And that kind of goes to my last tip, which is truly take care of yourself. Take care of yourself before anybody else, right? Put your mask on first. And if you need that 3:00 anxiety nap, do it. Everything else will happen. Rest is productivity. And caring for yourself, your body, your mind, your spirit, your life, that is what's going to make everything else fall into place, is to love yourself and take care of yourself first.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed today's video, then make sure you subscribe to my channel for weekly updates on all the best teaching tips, strategies, and ideas. And make sure you visit topmusic.co. We've completely rebranded since last year. That is where I have my blog, podcast, and membership site for music teachers around the world to come together, support each other, and be incredible teachers. I'll see you there.